let's go to the last game, which is the Black Friday game. First Black Friday game ever for the NFL. And that is the
And I didn't see a
Dolphins.
single second of it.
That is the Dolphins versus Jets. That was just it's just a shit show. Like that was awful game from start to finish. The Jets offense. Oh my god.
The Amazon Prime curse,
Let me tell you
the
something.
Prime Video curse.
Let me tell you something about the Jets. So they decided, you know what? Let's bench Zach Wilson. The media, people, the players in the locker room are sort of they're up in arms. They're mad at Robert Salah for
I would be too.
continuously starting Zach Wilson over and over again.
Oh,
So you know what? Fine. I will make the change. I will put Tim Boyle in the game to start versus the Miami Dolphins. And what happened? The same result, if not worse. That offense was atrocious. It was some of the worst QB play I've seen. Nathaniel Hackett, you're not good, bro. It's time. It's time to go. It's time. Your time as an offensive coordinator is over because the stuff that he's doing, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers has really screwed up this organization. First of all, having the Jets being pressured into getting Nathaniel Hackett as the OC just to get you to want to come to the New York Jets. Nathaniel Hackett is not good at all. And I see where Dan Orlovsky is sort of complaining about, oh, you put any QB in this offense, they're not going to perform very well. And he might be on to something. Now, I will say that if you put Patrick Mahomes in this offense will be a lot better. But in terms of, but I do understand what he's saying in terms of the offense won't be dynamic. It won't be a great offense. It will still be a lot of their struggles because I'm looking at Alan Lazard and he was a healthy scratch. By the way,
he's
Chad
getting paid
Johnson
220 mil guaranteed.
Chad Johnson not knowing what a healthy scratch is kind of weird considering he played all those years in the NFL. But yeah, he
Hmm.
was a healthy scratch, meaning that he was healthy to play, but they decided to not play him because he's not good. That's just what it is. Like he can't separate. He's been awful this year, and the offense is really Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, and that's it. Everybody else is pretty bad to mediocre. Tyler Conklin, he's okay, but I wouldn't want him as my starting tight end. And the offensive line is in shambles. It's a disaster. It's really a disaster. And Robert Sala, I don't know if he'll keep his job after the season because of the fact that they decide him and Joe Douglas, the fact that they didn't go out there and try to get a competent backup QB after Aaron Rodgers went out with that injury. That's just malpractice. That is that you're just sabotaging your team by not getting like a Joe Flacco or a veteran quarterback in the
And
event.
Josh Dobbs was available.
Josh Dobbs. Cam Newton, he's still out there. Although people say, oh, Cam Newton is cooked, I guarantee you he's better than Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle. I guarantee you he's better than any quarterbacks on the Jet roster. So y'all saying he's cooked, well, I guarantee you he'll be better than these QBs out here. And they decided to stand pack and just go with the guys that they already have. And they're in this tough position where it looks very bad. They sold their soul for Aaron Rodgers and they're paying for it. Just like with yeah, that's really what it is. Just what's your reaction to just the Jets and how pathetic their offense was? Although you didn't see it, I bet you heard some just rumblings of just what transpired during the game. Matter of fact, I think they only scored one touchdown.
I'm surprised they got even that. Yeah, the Jets, the offense is horrible. Zach Wilson stinks. Tim Boyle stinks. Nathaniel Hackett can't call plays. Robert Sala is not trying to take accountability for the way They neglected the QB position in the backup air department when they knew Zach Wilson wasn't the guy at all. And Joe Douglas, that's the GM, I'm assuming.
Yep.
He also deserves a big chunk of the blame for bending over for Aaron Rodgers and letting him make personnel changes or influence personnel decisions, and then signing Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard getting $22 million guaranteed dollars in the United States of America. Are you kidding me? Kids, don't listen. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you can't do anything, because Alan Lazard is getting the most guaranteed money out of any wide receiver this year. That was in free agency. No, don't tell people. Don't let people poop on your dreams and tell you can't do stuff. If Alan Lazard can make 20 mil guaranteed, you can do anything in this life, because the man is not good. He can't run routes. He can't really catch. He's tall, but he's not. What does he do well? Like, what does he do well at the receiver position? He's tall, and that's about it. But it's ridiculous, man. There needs to be some firings or something. Robert Salah, I will not be surprised if you are not the head coach after this year. Your Hard Knocks tried to help you. Hard Knocks tried to have the people. You got the people on your side on Hard Knocks, and over time, you've just been saying wrong stuff after wrong decision after wrong decision, refusing to address the problem. The locker room is already looking at you like you funny money. And now the people in the community in the NFL, they looking at you like you funny money too. So, hey, I mean, hey, you put all your eggs in one basket for Aaron Rodgers, knowing he's about 40 years old and injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
What did they think was going to happen? I'm telling. I think they believed that Aaron Rodgers could come back mid-season. I promise you. I believe they. I think they thought that he could come back. I promise you. Because they let him get away with everything else. Yeah, that's just malpractice, man. If I was a Jets fan, I'd be, man, what? I'd be outside with signs, cardboard signs outside of MetLife saying sell the team, or something, because this is ridiculous.
Yo, it's so weird. Like, there was a play, right? This was the end of the half. Tim Boyle threw a Hail
pick
Mary.
six on a Hail Mary. How is that possible?
I don't know, bro. It's just weird. I watched it live. I was like, what?
Man, free Garrett Wilson, man. Free Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
free Garrett Wilson. Oh, my God. That dude he has so much talent.
Dog, he is legit top 5 talent in the league. Mm-hmm. But he just has no one to throw it to. It's disgusting, honestly.
They better get it together next year, because if they don't, I'm telling you this right now, Garrett Wilson gonna be like, yeah, I'm out the door. Because you're wasting my years with this team. He is something else. Like, I had a parlay on him too. I had I think it was Tyreek and Garrett Wilson combined for like 17.5 receptions. I got that right. I knew that was gonna happen. And he's just a really good receiver, bro. He just needs help. And unfortunately, he's just surrounded by just a toxic situation. Robert Salah, it's something about defensive head coaches that just don't understand when it's time to let go of somebody, when it's time to make an adjustment on the offensive side. It's just something about defensive coaches. I mean, Mike Tomlin, he finally let go of Matt Canada, but my God, we saw that from a mile away in the first 4 or 5 games of the season, and he waited till this long. It's just something
we saw last year he should have been let go.
Yeah, but you know, the whole thing about Kenny Pickett is improving and all that stuff. They got tricked. And to say, oh yeah, Bill Belichick as well, the defensive-minded head coaches being stubborn and not understanding certain offenses and stuff like that. It's just something about defensive coaches.
Mike Vrabel.
The only guy that understands what to do, it seems, is the brother in Houston.
DeMeco
Ryans. It seems like he understands what to do, and they're winning game. But anywho, back to the Jets versus the Miami Dolphins. On the Dolphins side of things, they played an ugly game. Tua, he wasn't that impressive this game. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he threw 2 interceptions. One of them, he was staring down his receiver, And I'm just like, bro, Tua, what are you doing? Like,
Man, I'm telling you,
I if I
it
if I
might need
had
a
a
conversation might need to be had.
if I had a QB, if I made a QB tier list for this for next week, I would have Tua at he all right. Like I had him at he's a dude. I will put him at he all right for right now because just the way he's been playing, just like Jared Goff, they've been inconsistent in November, and unfortunately, when he has to play out of structure, just like with Brock Purdy, he gets happy feet, he gets fidgety, he makes mistakes, and just like with Jared Goff as well, it's that certain type of QB. It's that certain type of QB where they play well in structure. They're more pocket passer than they are scrambling a lot of times. And when you ask them to do more than they're capable of, they're not going to be able to do it. And that's Jared Goff, that's Brock Purdy, that's Tua, those type of QBs. And unfortunately, Tua, he's going to get his stats, but when you need him to do other things than just standing in the pocket, going through your progression, he's going to struggle a lot of times. And so this game was another
Oh,
example of it. Even though they scored 34 points, some of that was because of the defense. Some of that was because the running game with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson. So I'm just saying, I don't see them really going far in the playoffs. They'll probably win a playoff game, but after that, I don't see them going far because of Tua's inability to create something out of nothing, his inability to sort of get guys open even when it's not in structure. So
I'm in agreement with that. The Dolphins, they kind of remind me of the Lions. Good offense, uh, similar type of QBs. Defense is, I think the Dolphins have a slightly better defense, but although they just lost Jalen Phillips,
yeah.
he tore his Achilles, which is unfortunate at MetLife turf, but whatever. Yeah, so they're literally like similar teams. I think they
Mm-hmm.
have like the same record and everything. So, literally the AFC Lions.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, let's I think that'll do it for Black Friday game.